Welcome everybody back with a video. Today we're going to be talking about all of the MO5s that we've gotten thus far in this year. Now I will say this right off the bat, we are literally just looking at a PvP standpoint. We're not looking at anything else. We're just looking at PvP. Alright, so let's get right into it. So starting off the bat, we are going to be having Bystander Hwayoung. This character on release wasn't the greatest. Right? A lot of mixed emotions about this. Mixed reactions and all that about this character on release. But again, that's usually how it works for most of the characters that are not really super OP, right? This character basically does a lot more damage versus light units, which in my opinion, that is forever good. Any unit that comes out that is light has to be worried about Bystander Hwayoung because she does more increased damage. So the thing is, with this character, having that really makes me feel like she's forever going to be, not OP, but she's always forever going to be good versus any light unit. Any character that has those type of skills, it's super strong. I feel like it's just super strong. So this unit is very good versus light units, and is very good versus any cleaver. Alright, so basically, if a unit, basically an ally, drops down under like 50% in one single hit, Bystander Hwayoung is going to be proccing her passive, which is basically ripping her S3 into a random unit. Now, they could technically try to buff her and change her S3 to focus light units first and all that, but that's a whole different topic. And I don't really want to talk about that because, well, it's not here, so there's no point in talking about it. But yeah, her S3 is random if it's based off her passive, right? Which is really good when it comes to versus cleavers. Because more than likely, if you pick this versus a cleaver, they're either going to have to fight it or ban it. And the good thing is about this character as well, if they are like a CC cleaver, like a crowd control cleaver, Hwayoung can just solo. Because you cannot debuff this unit, nor can she get any buffs. Again, that's very insane. Forever, for the rest of E7 journey, for the next 13 years. Yes, they confirmed 20 years, by the way. She could never be debuffed or buffed. The only character that can do that is Renock, because of the gold debuff skill, right? But other than that, she's a good character. I like her a lot. I don't think she's OP. I don't think she's really bad. I think she's pretty good. I will be putting her inside the B tier. I think a B tier is perfect for her. Because the thing is with her, you do put her on counter. Now, you could put her on Destro, like a Omega DPS if you really want to. But more than likely, you have this character on counter. And if she doesn't counter, well, then this character doesn't really do much, right? But overall, as a character, I still think she is going to forever have a place inside the game for a very long time. Because again, any light unit that comes out has to be worried about Hwayoung, such as Lady of the Scales and Rance. Especially since Hwayoung has extinction on her S3. So if she can rip this S3 on Rance ain't coming back. From our understanding, that's how it works. Right? It should work like that. She's not coming back because she is going to extinct. Again, really good. Really like this character a lot. Next is going to be Lone Wolf Pra. Now, Lone Wolf Pra is like the same example as Bystander Hwayoung, where she has her own passive that increases dark allies, right? But the thing is with Pra, I don't think she's S tier. This character is going to be one of the few characters that actually gets a SS tier, because this character is bonkers. Absolutely insane of a character. So, not only does this character have evasion, 50% evasion as base. I think it's 50% evasion as base. She increases the team's party by 10% every single turn she takes. That already right there sounds loaded. But not only does she do that, she increases her attack by up to 5 times more every single turn she takes. Which again, that is insane, and that is all inside her passive alone. Now, when she rips S3, oh man, let's talk about this S3. When she rips S3, she cleanses the team. She gives everyone evasion buff if they're dark. If they're dark units, they will get an invasion buff 20%. That is insane. That's insane. Again, when you think about this, just sit there and listen to the kit. CR push increases her own attack. self-evasion, evasion for the team, cleanses the team. Like, bro, that is absolutely crazy when you sit there and think about it. And not only do they get evasion, they also do get the 50% starting at the next turn, which I forgot what it's called. A mid has that as well. Swift attack. There you go. They get swift attack as well. On top of that, bro, it's such a... No, this character is just insane. And then her S1 can apply defense break. And again, if you land a defense break, you could do more turn. And keep in mind, even her S1, it does an extra proportional amount of damage anyways, even if you don't have Tooth on her. But again, if you run Tooth on her, it's going to proc twice. So it's going to be Tooth proc and then her S1 proc additional damage, right? Which is insane yet again, bro. This character, absolutely disgusted, and I'm so sad I did not get this character. Like, I'm actually super, super sad I didn't get her, right? I know a lot of people did not get this character, and it really bums us out. Oh, man, I'm so sad. She's super, super good, man. Now, let's talk about the next character. ML Taeyu. Taeyu is going to be a full-on cleave unit. One of the few cleave units we've gotten this year, because honestly, he's literally the only one. Lady of the Scales, she can fit in there, but she's not really a cleaver, right? So Taeyu, this man, on release, I thought he was going to be OP. He was not OP. Same situation as Bystander Hwayoung. His damage is insane. Very, very good S1. Very, very good S3. But he does rely on fighting spirit, and he relies on you pushing the team back. Now, that's really good. You can guarantee your way to push him back. Now, that's not really a problem. The problem really comes down to his passive. His passive relies on fighting spirit. Just SPP existed inside the game. Let's say you do draft him, and they draft SPP. Well, then you're kind of screwed already. Or Elvira can pretty much shut this character down. But when he can work, bro does work. His damage on his S1 is absolutely bonkers. And he gives himself invincibility on top of that. So he's really good. Again, he's just like Bystander Hwayoung. Most of the time when you draft this character, he's probably banned. He is probably banned unless they are able to tank him down. But honestly, it's kind of hard to tank this character down. But overall, I do think he's good. Again, it's a pretty simple character. He's a cleave unit. Defense break AoE on S3 can soul burn and ignore ER. 85% chance to proc though. The defense breaks. And again, he does grant himself an extra turn when you do push him back. And it does proc his passive, right? So you can S3 into S1. Very, very good. Very, very solid, right? It's actually insane. You can apply defense break and you can kill him the exact same turn. Who doesn't like that, right? But I will be putting him alongside Bystander Hwayoung. I don't think he's A tier. I don't think he's C tier. I do think he is just right there with Hwayoung. Because again, kind of easy to counter him if you could draft Elvira or SPP. But again, same situation as Hwayoung. When you do draft them, sometimes, most of the time, they do get banned out. Right? Especially if you are fighting cleavers. Now, let's talk about good old Bosaruna. Bosaruna. Basically, everyone has to hit this character. She has to be in front, and your entire team is basically, you can't click them. So therefore, they have to literally target her. But not only when they do target her, she gets a 25% combat radius push every single time she's hit. Which means they push her up all the way. She can rip S3, give herself a defense buff, and a big old fat barrier, which basically makes her unkillable. This character, no one else can do what she does. Absolutely insane passive, being that everyone has to hit this character. I am definitely put her in the SS tier. I can hear people make a debate about S tier, but honestly, again, this character is just absolutely insane. Like, she's the first knight we got this year, and it's kind of insane. I don't remember if she's the last knight we've gotten since... No, she's not. I don't think she's the last MO knight we've gotten from since like Bride and them. Pretty sure not. Oh, thank you, Ben, for subscribing. But yeah, her passive and into the S3, absolutely insane. Her S3 and dispels as well. And not only that, her S1 basically does a defense break. And if you soul burn, you can drag the ally with the highest attack. Again, this character, it's a knight. Yeah, but she's absolutely insane. Who would have thought? A light knight? Hey, they're all broken. Literally every single one of them are broken, right? But overall, I do think she is double S tier. Because again, having the option of protecting any unit you want is insane. Let it just alone just like that, right? Very, very good. Next, let's talk about Arya of Disciplinary. Perfect Arya. This character, very, very good. I like this character. Now, this character's gimmick is basically they are doubling your soul burns. That soul burn double is insane. So if it costs us 20 souls, it's basically 40. And that can really hurt a team really, really bad. So, and she can pen on her S3. It's a single target, give a barrier to the entire team. And she does have a guaranteed crit. This character is very, very easy to build. She has guaranteed crit no matter what. Besides her first part of S1, the second part is a guaranteed. And she does apply injury on her S1. And she does give an entire team ER. Not even that alone, she does give herself like 200% ER for free if you have her at about 30k HP. Not so hard to really reach. She's just insane. She's just a full-on ER unit, which I'm actually surprised they were able to make it work, because I was not expecting an ER unit to be as good as she is. I think she's a phenomenal unit, right? I'm pretty sure you fought her by now. I fought her so much. I used her so much inside the E7 World Cup prelims. She was amazing. Absolutely a powerhouse of a character. She can literally still 1v4 depending on how the draft really does go. Thanks to the barriers, thanks to her S3 having pen. And it does more pen the more times you do use it, capping out at 2. And if you do soul burn, it does lower the cooldown on it. Again, she can pretty much spam that S3 almost every other turn, which is insane. It's good, man. It's a really fun unit. I love it. And very easy to build. Like, who's complaining about that, right? But this character, let's go ahead and rank her. Now, I do not think she's going to be C tier. I don't think she's B tier, nor do I think she's A tier. I do think she is going to be inside the S tier. I don't think she is SS, but I do believe she is going to be S tier. Now, I can hear some debate about her definitely being in A tier, for sure. I can definitely hear some debate. But that double souls really push her over. And the free ER to her and the entire team definitely pushes over her to S tier, in my opinion. Next, let's talk about Witch of the Mare, Tenebria. This character, oi. Let's talk about her. So, her S3 has one of the few rare debuffs in the game, which was called Block. Block is basically only you can buff yourself / cleanse yourself. If you have a cleanser on your team, it doesn't do anything. If you have a buffer on the team, it doesn't do anything. Right? That is how broken Block is. But the disadvantage is, there is no ignore ER, which is completely understandable. Because that debuff alone is crazy. That's a pretty crazy debuff. No one can buff you. No one can cleanse you. Right? It's crazy. Only you could. And if you don't have that, well, then it is what it is. You might as well pack it up. So our S3, pretty nice. Pretty nice, right? And it does debuff up to 2 debuffs. Wait, it strips 2 buffs. There you go. It's not a full-on strip, which again, they did, hold back just a little bit, because again, if it was a full cleanse or a full strip, would have been kind of disgusting, right? Now, let's get into her S2. Her S2 got a brand new debuff, which is called Rupture, which basically does damage based on the max HP. Overall, very, very good, and is actually pretty strong. It's actually pretty strong, the tick damage it does do. Very, very good. And not only does she do that, she also does put herself inside stealth, and it gives herself a big old fat barrier. And then on top of that, when her S3 is on cooldown, and guess what? You're in stealth, by the way, at the same time. Her S1 will be doing a dual attack with the highest ally's attack. I'm pretty sure it's the ally with the highest attack. I forgot the S1. Again, I have not touched her at all, but I'm pretty sure S1 brings the highest attack unit, which is insane. And she's stealth, so if you don't have a way to get her out of stealth, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna touch this character, right? So Overall, I think she's a phenomenal unit. But I do not think she's SS tier. I feel like she's definitely going to be an S tier, and I will be putting her in front of Arya. Now, why I do put her in S tier is because she does not have Ignore ER, and it's not a full strip. Because so, basically, you can either buff stack or 15%. So, overall, that is why I am literally alone putting her in S tier. When she pops off, and she's definitely SS. But looking at a full-on standpoint, I do think she is going to be in the S tier. But again, I think she is very oppressive. She is very, very strong. So I can easily make a debate by putting her in SS tier. But again, like I did say earlier, the fact that you can just 15%er and basically not have a full-on Ignore ER Sober in S3 puts her in S tier. If she had the Ignore ER S3, easy SS tier. Right? But since she doesn't have that, I am putting her in S tier. But again, I can hear debate for both sides. Now, let's talk about Lady of the Scales. Brand new MO5 that is coming out on Wednesday, by the way. She's not here yet, but we know her kit. This character, I think she's another level. I think she's like, this is like the brand new wave of power creep. Like, you compare this, and I compare this to Tenebria, this is just, this is disgusting. This is disgusting. Alright, so this character, her passive, let's talk about the passive already. She will grant offering to the ally in the front. It doesn't matter who it is. They are going to get granted offering right off the bat at the start of the battle. Just like how Bosaruna passive starts, it is at the start of the battle. You do not need to take a turn or anything. It's just automatically there. And basically, offering is a 70% damage share. And when you do bring them to 1 HP, they do get immortality. And that is insane. And then when they do die, they heal the team for, is it 20%? Or I think they just heal the team a certain amount of percentage. I do not remember the actual percentage, but they do heal the team when they do die. So they get immortality, 70% damage share, and when they die, they heal the team. That alone is already crazy for a passive, right? And now, not only does that happen, she will gain 50% of combat readiness the enemy gains. So let's say you have Veronica, because you think Veronica is going to be good versus Lady of the Scales, which I think is so too. But keep in mind, let's say you have the EE push, the CR push on Veronica, which makes it 80%. That means Lady of the Scales is going to be pushing up 40%. That is crazy. It's always going to be flat percent she's going to gain. If they gain 100, she's gaining 50. If they gain 50, she's gaining 25. That is crazy. So that's going to be very, very hard to actually try to play around this character with Veronica, right? So just keep that in mind. It might be a little bit dicey with her. And now, let's talk about her S3. Her S3 cleanses the team. All right? It cleanses the team. But not only does it cleanse the team, she gives the entire team abundance. Abundance is like a cascade. But abundance, it is there for 2 turns, and it does a 2k damage tick, pretty much, right? But the good thing about abundance is, if there's a 2-part on your S1, a 2-part on your S3, or a 2-part on your S2, it will be doing an additional 2 damage. So therefore, in total, it's going to be doing 4k. So imagine Janua. Janua S1, boom, boom, and then he does the big old slash at the end, right? That's 4k additional damage. Absolutely crazy. And now, from the looks of it, it looks like it is based on the turn. Which means, again, I don't know this for sure. We need to wait till she comes out on this part. But if a unit counters with this skill, I'm pretty sure it's just based on the amount of turns they take. So if they are base speed blind, by the way, counter 3F, right? And she's just sitting there taking forever, and they keep hitting blind, and blind keeps countering over and over and over and over, I'm pretty sure abundance will keep proccing every single time until she takes the 2 turns. I don't know if it's true like that. We're going to have to wait and see when it does release. But again, that alone is crazy yet again. And now, let's talk about the S1. S1 has a very, very rare debuff, which is going to be Fear. Yes, Fear. Completely understandable why they put that. because you can soul burn and make it an AoE 100% chance to proc fear. Now, it doesn't ignore ER, which is great, but it does make it a 100% chance to proc. And the good thing about fear is you can, break out of it. There's a 40% chance you can break out of fear, which again, they tamed her down a little bit. Because if they put sleep or if they put stunned, it would have been a GG. Because how do you fight that? Right? There's no way. They gave her fear, so there's some fighting chance versus this character, right? So this character basically kills any type of cleave. I think Straw's is going to take a big old hit with this. Very, very strong. Because if some people play it right and they put the highest HP in the front, and Straw's obviously can't kill because immortality and all that, this character is fully going to stop cleave in my opinion. She's going to be insane. I think she's very, very good. It's just going to be that one rare time we make a triple S tier unit, S tier list. Like, I really feel like she's just on the tier of her own. Like, I think she's definitely SS tier, but would you guys make a debate that she's like her own tier, SSS? Like, let me know down below. Do you guys think she's above Bosaruna and Para, or do you guys think she's the same level as them? I just feel like she's just so insane. I may be gassing her up too much, but I can definitely just see her in her own world up here. This is disgusting from what we've seen on her, right? And lastly, Genesis Rance. I forgot the man's. I gotta include him, of course, right? I just completely forgot. Pretty sure I forgot because he was free, and for some reason, it just didn't cross my mind. So let's get into it. Now, Genesis Rance is going to be starting with a undispellable buff, just like Bosaruna and Lady of the Scales, which is going to be Scarred Covenant, or Scared Covenant, whichever one you want to call it. Hopefully, whichever one I said it, hopefully I said it right. Basically, cannot be affected by any debuffs or some harmful effects, and when he does die, he does come back with 100% HP. Very, very good. You stacked it with Holy Sack, oi, bro is going to have multiple lives. So basically, S3 is going to be penetrating the target's defense. Again, this character is not out, so we cannot fully see how the damage really does, play out. His damage will be increasing compared to his max health, and with a few enemies, it does more damage. Overall, very, very solid. It sounds very, very good, right? Penetrates target's defense based off of their HP. It's really insane. Less enemies, right? The less enemies there, well, guess what? The more damage you're going to do. And the cooldown on it isn't really that bad. It's 4 turns? It's really not that bad. Especially when you look at his S2. S2, he has another limited debuff, brand new by the way, which is called Disinterrogation. I can't say it, man. What it does, it decreases HP by 50% when they're a hero, right? If they're not a hero, it's just 25%. So just keep that in mind. When you think about this, this is going to be absolutely insane. Now, if this was AoE, absolutely bonkers, but it is only a single target. So seal and reducing their HP by 50% is kind of insane. It's really insane. For 10 souls, it ignores ER. Oi. Again, he is kind of OP. Very, very good. And not only can he steal and weaken their HP by 50%, he also gets an extra turn if it is a critical hit. And damage dealt is, compared to his max HP. Overall, very, very good. When you pair this with his S3, bro is going to be cycling turns like crazy. So he rips S3, right? He comes around, does his S2 into S1. Boom, bro can almost do his S3 yet again. That's kind of crazy when you really think about it. Keep in mind, bro is going to be cycling. His S2 is only 3 turns, right? So it's going to be cycling like crazy. I really cannot wait to see how he's going to play out. Because it sounds like bro can just cycle nonstop. And if they ever make a knight artifact that can take extra turns and all that, oi, this man is going to be disgusting, right? And then lastly, the S1 is just more HP proportion to his max HP, and does increase his common readiness by 25%. So you can tell this character has pretty much everything going for him, right? CR push on the S1 to push him up to do more turns. S2, when you crit, guaranteed extra turn. S3, more damage when there's less enemies. And guess what? That's going to be pretty easy to do, because if you S2, you're ready to weaken him by 50%. It is not that hard to kill somebody if they're 30k, dropping down to 15k. That's not that really hard to beat. So again, very, very, very disgusting. Now, where do I rank this character? So honestly, he sounds pretty cracked out, but do I believe he is SS tier with Lady of the Scales, Para, and Bosaruna? Sadly, I do not think he's going to be there. I am going to be putting him in S tier and definitely in front of Tenebria. Now, my opinion may change when he does release, and he may go up to double S tier. We're going to have to wait and see how he really plays out. I mean, he's not like Lady of the Scales when you can easily figure out, oh, she's going to be absolutely insane. His debuff was very, very nice. I do like the S2 and all that. Again, I think this man can definitely cycle and get rid of a team very, very quickly. There's basically a clock on you, right? It's like basically like Ainz, technically. Because if this man has S2 and he S2s your entire team, you're done. You're done. Right? Because 50% HP reduction and seal is too much to really handle, right? So I will be putting him in an S tier for now. I can definitely hear debates for him being in double S tier, though. So again, I will be putting him in S tier for now. Again, I hear you. I understand if you want to put him in double S. I just wanted to wait and see how it really plays out in terms of his damage, right? But other than that, though, thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you have a good day, and peace out.